Hey guys, welcome to another recap of Celebrity Apprentice. Last week, David Cassidy was the sacrificial lamb. This week, Star delivered her check, but that was okay, but what the hell was she wearing? It looks like she kind of got stuck in a lounge chair with the straps on the back and she couldn't get out of it, so she just pulled out the frame part and just made a jacket out of it. It was really weird. Alright, so this week the task is that they need to create and write a children's book for 4 to 5-year-olds about one of their team members, but they're also going to have to be doing a live presentation in front of a group of those 4 to 5-year-olds. And the judges, well, one of them is a children's author and the other one is none other than Holly Robinson Peete. Alright, and of course she's an expert because she's got 4 kids. Okay. The PMs, one of them is going to be Meatloaf, and the other one, well, they had to twist her arm behind her back, and that would be Lisa Rinna. Whatever. You know, she said she didn't want to do it, and everybody forced her to do it. She could have said no. She could have said, sorry, kids, not doing it. Not gonna die. But no. She said, all right, I'll do it. I'm so happy about it. So they're writing the book, and Meatloaf had to get his Rocky Horror references in there because that is like his claim to fame, that he was Eddie in Rocky Horror and blah blah blah, 9 bottles of champagne. If you've ever watched the commentary for the movie, it's like, oh, nobody could sing it as good as me. You know, whenever anybody else tried to sing it, all the words weren't in there, it wasn't up to tempo, and you know, Elvis showed up and 9 bottles of champagne for the cast and blah blah blah. That was like 29, 30 years ago. Come on, let it go already. Alright, so the ladies, they had a hard time coming up with a concept. The men, however, they had a rhyming story about Lil Jon going to a new school, which I thought was pretty good. I mean, because kids, you know, that's something that upsets them. I remember when I was a little kid, I was worried about moving because I didn't want to have to go into a classroom and not know anybody. So that's a real concern for kids, I think. The ladies, Lisa was a horrible leader. She came up, well, somebody came up with LaToya the lion. They didn't know about, you know, how that was going to go. They said, well, maybe she can't roar, she's shy. Maybe kids don't know what shy is. Dion, however, she is an old, grumpy old lady. And it's kind of sad to have to argue with a 70-year-old woman, so nobody really wants to do it. And Dion, well, they were kicking around the idea of maybe the lion is deaf and that's why she can't roar. Dion thinks that being deaf is way too sad a concept to lay on a 4 to 5-year-old. Hello? That is so ignorant. I'm going to have to totally agree with Marley. I would be incredibly insulted, and I'm not deaf or hearing impaired. So Lisa totally caved and just like would not want to do the deaf theme. So Star and Lisa are having some problems also. They're like oil and water. They had some problems on the last task. It's carrying over to this task. They're just going to go with the Nervous Lion theme, and I would totally be pissed because, I mean, that's pretty generic and not very unique, and I think if they had gone with the whole diversity of disability theme, it would have been a winner. It would have been a total winner. Alright, the men's team was having some problems. Meatloaf sent the props to the wrong place. Jose and Gary were going back and forth. They were starting to get pissed. Meatloaf was kind of a horrible PM, and there was a whole thing between him and Gary about Gary came back and was talking to Eric, and he's like, you gotta go now, and it was just a whole big weird misunderstanding, and tensions were elevating, and it was weird. But the ladies, however, they were having some serious issues. Lisa totally delegated basically everything to Star about writing the book and illustrating it. And when they got to the rehearsal space, you know, they left Star behind to basically write the entire book. Dion took over the music. I'm going to have to call you out on this one, Dion. The fur coat and baseball cap, it doesn't really work unless you're going for crazy or homeless. And by homeless, I mean a homeless person that crawled into one of those Goodwill boxes and pulled out a ratty old fur coat. I mean, I'm sure it was a very expensive fur coat, but with the baseball hat, it kind of looked weird. All right, Star, she did everything like we said before, but the cover, she wanted to leave that for Lisa. Lisa's like, can't you just do it? No, I don't want to do it. But then she wanted her name on it. And when Dion heard that Star wanted her name on it, well, she wanted her name on it too. She wanted it to say that she was the creator. And then when Lisa didn't agree, Dion got really pissed. And the nostrils started flaring. So let's go to presentation time. I thought the ladies' presentation was okay. It was something inside me thought, oh, weird, when LaToya roared. It didn't seem like a lion's roar. It seemed like a crazy person's scream. The men, I thought their presentation was fun and funny. I mean, to have the guys dressed up as girls, I mean, it was like British comedy. It was fantastic. Except for Jose. He was kind of stiff. And I mean, I could get past Meatloaf, like just reading the book, but Jose was really stiff. He was reading his thing off of his teacher clipboard thing, and it was not like you would expect a teacher to be. So it kind of broke up the continuity of the presentation, but it was still fun. All right, so in the boardroom, Meatloaf called out Gary. You know how Trump does his firings, you know, even like who won. I love how he does that, because it's like, well, let's see who you're gonna throw under the bus even before you know who won. So Meatloaf called out Gary as the worst, and Trump, you provided me with the best moment of the entire episode, and that was when you called out Lisa Rinna's lips as crappy, and that you were so happy that she fixed them, as we all are, because nobody wants to look at your, well, monkeys behind lips or cheap hot dogs blown up in a microwave lips. You did a good thing. Thanks for fixing them. And guys, stop doing the tattoos too. I'm gonna have to agree with Trump. They look cheap. All right, Dion said Lisa sucked as the PM, and she was correct. She was a horrible PM. All right, so let's talk about the books. The ladies' font was too small. The theme was too sophisticated. The men, you had an age-appropriate book, but the presentation was kind of ruined by Jose's stiffness, and Meatloaf, shame on you, you didn't hold up the book. Kids love that. They effing love it. All right, so the men ended up winning. I mean, yeah, they should have. Absolutely. So when the ladies came into the boardroom, Lisa totally called out Dion and Star. You know, oh, they were so horrible, Mr. Trump. They wanted their name on the book. I mean, they actually, like, came up with everything, so whatever. And then she pretty much put the final nail in her coffin right away when she was like, was I running around with it like a chicken with my head cut off completely? Well, even if you were running around like a chicken with your head half cut off, it's still pretty bad. So, yeah. There's no two ways about it. Lisa was just a crappy PM. Marley, however, though, would fire Dion because she made her feel like less than a human, that she, you know, was deaf. Lisa, she just didn't have a chance against Star and Dion, and that's who she decided to bring back to the boardroom. Star Jones is a lawyer. Dionne Warwick is a crabby old dinosaur. And Lisa Rinna's just a tired old actress who hasn't really worked much lately except for Lifetime. So I'm going to fire you, Lisa. Sorry. And that's exactly what Trump did, because it's smart. All right, next time it's a camping task. And I have a feeling it's going to be incredible because Gary is the PM. Till next time, much love.